In this video, we're looking at solving some simple trig equations. It says, find the values of theta in the interval 0 is less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to 360, such that the sine of theta is equal to 0.8132 to the nearest whole degree. So, to have room to work, I'll bring this equation down. This is the sine of theta is equal to 0.8132. And to solve this one now, I'll undo the sign by using the inverse sign on both sides. So this is the inverse sign of the sine of theta is equal to the inverse sign of 0.8132. The inverse sign of a sine undoes each other, and we just end up with the theta is equal to, here, I'm going to make sure the calculator is on degrees, since it's asking for the answers to the nearest whole degrees. So I go to mode, and I make sure that it's on degrees. It is now. And I'm going to find, what does the calculator tell us? The inverse sign, make sure that you can see this is the inverse sign of 0.8132. So this is second, to get the inverse sign of 0.8132. And we press enter, and it shows us that this is the inverse sign here of 0.8132 is 54.409. Rounded to the nearest whole degree, since the tenths place is less than 5, we leave it as a 54. And so this is giving us that theta is 54 degrees when rounded to the nearest whole degree. That is not the only angle that will work, though. Whenever you find one angle, you need to draw a picture so we can find the others. So here is our unit circle, 54 degrees. I estimate 54 degrees to be about there. This is 54 degrees. Now here we're working with a sine, and sine depends upon y values, which means we want to find any other angles that have the same y value. See, that's going through the y-axis, which means that we're going to reflect this angle, reflect it through the y-axis, since we're dealing with a sine that depends upon y's. When I reflect this angle through the y-axis, I end up right there. And so, if this angle is 54 degrees, what is the size of this angle? You're right if you said that if this one is 54, then this one must be 54. And what we want to find is the size of this larger angle here, right? Well, since the whole thing is 180, the whole thing is 180, and then if we back up 54, we end up with the angle we want. That means that this other angle is going to be 180 minus 54. So what does that give us? 180 minus 54 is 126. So we end up with 126 degrees here. These are the only two angles that we can put into theta here that'll come out giving us 0.8132. as long as we only have to stay between 0 and 360, as it was in this example. So these are the only two angles that are between 0 and 360 that will satisfy this equation.